Very good morning to all of you children. Today we will discuss this topic first, Newton's third law of motion and gravitation. Then we will discuss about the numericals. So as I have written Newton's third law of motion and gravitation. So recall what is Newton's third law of motion. As you know, the third law states that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. If one object apply a force on second object, the second object also apply a force, equal and opposite force on first. So this law is also hold good for the force of gravitation. So what is the meaning of it? That this law also holds good for the force of gravitation. It means suppose if we throw an object from the earth's surface, suppose we throw a ball, then due to gravitational force of the earth, the ball will attain some height and then it starts falling towards the earth because due to force of gravitation, earth attracted towards the sun. Now if we apply or if we think in terms of Newton's third law of motion, then we can also say that the same force is applied by the ball on the earth. So why not earth is moving upwards and we only see that the ball is coming towards the earth. Why not earth is moving towards the ball? Because these two forces are equal and opposite. So let us try to answer this question. Now from Newton's second law of motion, we know that F is equal to m into a, m, where F is force, m is mass, and a is acceleration. So from this expression we can write a is equal to F by m. It means acceleration produced in a body is directly proportional to the force we are applying on it and inversely proportional to mass of the object. Now the same force is acting. It means if we throw a ball from the earth's surface, the gravitational force attract the ball towards the earth, and so the ball is coming towards the earth, and the ball is also applying a same force on the earth, but the earth is not moving towards the ball. This is because the acceleration produced in ball is quite large. In case of ball, acceleration produced in ball, force is same, but mass of ball is very less, isn't it? Mass of ball is very less. So the acceleration produced in ball is very large. That's why it is falling towards the earth. On the other hand, if we consider the acceleration produced on earth, so mass of earth, this number is very huge in comparison to a ball. Mass of earth is very large. So same gravitational force produces very less acceleration in earth. That's why earth is not moving towards the ball. So write a question. If a stone slash, you can also write ball, stone, yeah, stone भी लिख सकते हैं, ball भी लिख सकते हैं, slash ball also exerts an equal and opposite force, on the earth, equal and opposite force on the earth then why don't we see the earth rising up towards the stone slash ball, question mark. Now to answer this question, in answer you will write these lines from Newton's second law of motion. We know that, write this expression, F is equal to ma and A is equal to F by m. F is equal to ma and A is equal to F by m. Written? Then write, it is clear from formula that the acceleration produced in a body is inversely proportional to mass of the object. Or mass of the body. Next sentence. Now, mass of a stone slash ball. Now, mass of a stone slash ball is very small. Due to which the same gravitational force produces large acceleration in it. Due to this large acceleration, next sentence, due to this large acceleration, ball or stone falling towards the earth, You change the paragraph and write, on the other hand, On the other hand, mass of Earth is very large. On the other hand, mass of Earth is very large. In comparison to ball, in comparison to ball. That's why same gravitational force. That's why same gravitational force produces very small acceleration. Very small acceleration. And hence Earth does not move, and hence the Earth does not move towards the ball or stone. Now, giving a question, so I think it is clear to you why a ball or stone is coming towards the Earth, although the forces are equal and opposite, because one force produces large acceleration in ball or stone due to its less mass. On the other hand, the same force produces very less acceleration due to huge mass of the Earth. Now write this question, and this is question 2. A coin and a piece of paper simultaneously drop simultaneously from the same height. Which of the two will touch the ground first? Which of the two will touch the ground first? Then another part is what will happen if the coin and the piece of paper are dropped in vacuum, give reason for your answer. So this question is homework. Although we have discussed about it, that if a coin and a piece of paper are dropped simultaneously, the coin will touch the ground first because coin is compact, it has less surface area, so air friction is less, whereas a piece of paper is very light in comparison to coin. Coin is heavy and compact. So in case of piece of paper, it is very light. Air resistance is also there. So it will take a little bit more time to reach the ground. But what will happen if the coin and piece of paper are dropped in vacuum? So suppose we take a very long glass tube and at one end we have coin and a piece of paper and take out all the air from the glass tube. Suppose it is perfectly vacuum, and if you invert it, then you will find that same acceleration is acting on both of them, because acceleration due to gravity, as we have discussed earlier, does not depend on mass of the object, whether the object are light or heavy, same acceleration, they face same acceleration. So both the piece of paper and the coin will reach the other end of the glass tube at the same time in vacuum. So you have to explain this fact point wise and write a good answer for it. Now we will discuss some of the important numericals. Although last class we have discussed some, but so many numericals are there in this chapter we have. So a very important question, that is question number 17, very important. On page 144, question number 17. Question number 17 is, a stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower 100-meter high. Suppose we have a tower down, and tower is 100-meter high. Height of tower is here. This is H, height of tower. And at the a stone is allowed to fall from the top of a tower. So if we allow to fall a stone from the top of the tower, suppose this stone is coming down. So for this stone, if it is dropped, as you know, U is 0. and g for simplicity you take 10 meter per second square. And the stone is coming downwards. At the same time, another stone is projected vertically upwards from the ground with a velocity of 25 meter per second. So we throw a stone from ground also. Suppose this is the stone and we throw it in upward direction. So whenever an object is thrown in upward direction, its final velocity will be 0 and acceleration due to gravity will be negative. So suppose it is minus 10 meter per second square and initial velocity is given 25 meter per second. So these are the given things. You can mark tower as this point as A at the top and base is B. Calculate when and where the two stones will meet. So you have to answer two questions: when they will meet and where they will meet. So let AB is the tower. Now one stone is dropped from the top and one stone is thrown upwards from the base. Suppose they are meeting at point C. So right, let the two stones meet at point C. Now, the first stone which is dropped from the top will cover a distance AC, isn't it? So, it will fall down through a height AC. So, if you have to calculate AC, we can write AC is equal to UT plus half GT square. This is for first stone we can write. Now U is 0, so it will be 0 into T plus half into 10 into T square. So 2 5s are 10. So we can write AC is equal to 5T square. Mark it as equation 1. That AC is equal to 5T square. Suppose this stone has fallen through a height AC, and to calculate the horizontal distance, we are using formula S is equal to UT plus half AT square. But in case of freely falling body, as we have discussed in last class, the horizontal distance S is changed by letter H, because here the object will fall or it will attain some height. So in place of S we are writing H, and A is replaced by letter A. A is replaced by letter G, where small g, as you know, acceleration due to gravity. So in this way we have substituted the value, and first equation is AC is equal to 5T square. Now think about this stone which is thrown vertically upwards. This is for second stone. How much height it has attained? A height of BC, the second stone which is thrown vertically upwards. So similarly, we can write BC is equal to UT plus half GT square. Now, for this stone which is thrown vertically upwards, initial velocity is given, so it will be 25 into T plus half G is minus 10 into T square. So it will be 25T minus 5T square BC. Mark it as equation number 2. same formula we are using. BC is equal to half ut plus half gt square. U for this stone which is thrown vertically upwards with a velocity of 25 meter per second. So U is given, so we are writing 25 into T plus half. G is negative because it is thrown upwards. So minus 10 we have taken T square. If you will simplify, you will get BC is equal to 25T minus 5T square. Now add equation 1 and 2. So write adding equation 1 and 2 we get. So left side if we add it will be AC plus BC, and on right side AC is 5T square and BC is 25T minus 5T square. We are simply adding the left side and the right side of these two equations. So 5T square and minus 5T square cancel. Now look at the diagram. AC is this much and BC is this much. So if you add AC and BC, it will be total height of the tower. So AC plus BC is total height of the tower. So we can write 100 is equal to 25T. Therefore, we can write T is equal to 100 by 25. So it will be 4 seconds. So So first answer, when they will meet. So when का आंसर मिल गया है, when, so they will meet after 4 seconds. So first part we have completed. They will meet after 4 seconds. I think it is clear to you, children, because this numerical is very, very important. Now, second part, where they will meet. So, for where, now we will answer this part, where they will meet. So, you can substitute value of T either in equation 1 or in 2. So, right, substituting value of P in equation 1, we get. So it will be, AC will be how much? AC is equal to 5 into T is 4, so 4 square. So it will be 80. So when the first stone will fall 80 meter from the top, this is from the top, we have to mention. For where there are two answers. This is also correct, that when the first stone has fallen through a height of 80 meter from the top, then they will meet. Or you can also substitute value of T in equation 2. Substituting value of T in equation 2. So equation 2 is BC is equal to 25T. So 25 into 4 minus 5 is 4 square. So 100 minus 80, so it will be 20 meter. So this is from the base of the tower. You can write when the second stone has attained a height of 20 meter from the base of the tower, then they will meet. So there are two possible answers for there, either 80 meter or 20 meter, but you have to mention that if you are calculating by this method from the top and here from the base, both the answers are correct. I think it is clear to you. Must copy it because a very important question. Now giving a similar type of question as a homework. You write this question. This is question 2 giving wicket keeping low. Is dropped from a height of 40 meter. And simultaneously means उसी समय a ball is thrown upwards from the ground with a speed of 40 meter per second. When and where small g 9.8 meter per second square. So must solve this question. This is homework. Mass and weight we will learn after the puja vacation. Now we will solve question number 18. A ball thrown up vertically returns to the thrower after 6 seconds. Question number 18 from NCERT book, page 144. This question is homework. You must write it. Now question number 3 is NCERT, page 144, and this is question number 18. So a ball thrown vertically returns to the thrower after 6 seconds. Thrown up, it means V is 0. Because whenever an object is thrown upwards, its final velocity is 0. And total time is given. Six seconds. It means it will take 3 seconds to attain the maximum height, and then it will take 3 seconds to come back. Now find first the velocity with which it was thrown up. So first you have to calculate u, the maximum height it reaches. Then this second, how much high it will rise, and its position after 4 seconds. Third, position after 4 seconds. So G, we will take it is not given, but they have taken, I don't know. But if it is not given, we will take 9.8. So it is thrown vertically upwards, so G is minus 9.8 meter per second square. Now first we will calculate U, initial velocity. So V is equal to U plus GT. We will use this formula. Total time is given, so we can't take total time. We will write for V is 0. U we have to calculate. G is minus 9.8 and T is 3 seconds. Because this is total time. It will take 3 seconds to attain the maximum height. As we have learned, time of ascent and time of descent are equal. So we can write U is equal to 9.8 into 3. So it will be 29.4 meter per second. So initial velocity will be 29.4 meter per second. Then you have to calculate the maximum height it will rise. So either you can use equation 2 or 3 for maximum height. Time is given, so you will use second equation. So h is equal to ut plus half gt square. So h is equal to u is how much? 29.4. Time you will take 3 seconds, because in 3 seconds it will attain the maximum height, plus half, then minus 9.8, and b is again 3 square. So it will be 4.9. So h is equal to 29.4 into 3 minus 4.9 into 9. So 4 these are 12, 28, 8. So 88.2. And this side we have 991. 44.1. So it will be 44.1 meter. This will be the maximum height. Then third one, position after 4 seconds. So in 3 seconds it will be at a height of 44.1 meter from the Earth's surface. And when it reaches the highest point, it will start falling. So better you calculate the distance it will cover in 1 second after reaching the highest point. So position after 4 seconds. So it is now coming towards the earth, it is dropped. So for this one, u is 0 and g is plus 9.8 meter per second square. And what about the velocity? So use the formula h is equal to ut plus half gt square. Let us calculate its position after 1 second. So u is 0, time is 1 second, half into 9.8 into 1 square. So you will get 4.9. So it has fallen to a height of 4.9 meter from the top after 1 second. So after 4 seconds, its position will be 44.1 minus 4.9. So if we will subtract, so 39.2 meter. So it will be 39.2 meter away from the ground. So the third one is, I think, not clear to you. You have to calculate the position of object after 4 seconds. So we have seen that in 3 seconds it attains a height of 44.1 meter. So out of 4, 3 seconds has gone and it has attained a height of 44.1 meter. Now in next 1 second it will start falling. That's why we have calculated that how much height it has fallen down. We have calculated the height in which it has fallen. So for falling objects, u is 0, g is now positive because it is coming towards the earth. Use this formula. So u is 0 and half, and t you have to take 1 second because for 3 seconds we have calculated. Here t is 3 and here t is 1 second because 4 seconds means 3 plus 1. In 3 seconds it has attained the height of 44.1. Now in 1 second how much distance it has fallen? So that's we are calculating. So it has fallen to a height of 4.9 meter. So now its actual position from the earth's surface will be how much? For total height 44.1 minus the height through which it has fallen. So 4.9. You will subtract, you will get 39.2 meter. So I think it is clear to you. These questions are very important. So this much for today, children. I will choose some of the questions and send it to you in your WhatsApp group as a holiday homework. Although I have given one question in that pen and paper, that one, and I will give some important numericals to solve during the puja vacation. Not so many, 4, 5, so that you can revise and be regular. Okay, happy puja vacation, children. Thank you.